Hello, I'm Bob Ellis, and I'm here to talk again about the Employee Appreciation Fund. And last week we had a question and answer period, and I thought that was much better than what we had done the previous week, so we'll do that again. And Jerry and I will ask questions of each other. And I'd like to say, if you have any questions that aren't answered or weren't answered fully, just jot them down and put them in box 353 or 051. Before we get started, I just want to say that we're really doing very well on the fund. Since we talked last week, we added another 10,000 to our total. So we're now at about 75,500. And we would compare that to last year, and we were about 41,000. So there's a big difference there. We are about $14,000 ahead of last year, so we're doing very well. We'll make another deposit this week and one more at the end of the month, and then in November we'll be depositing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because that's when most of the checks come in. So we're at 75,500, doing well. One of the questions we had was, is the fund used by the administration as a recruiting tool? And I think that's an important one to answer, and Jerry's going to answer that.
No, the fund is not used as a recruitment for Freedom Village employees. It is a fund run by the residents of Freedom Village. We have a committee that's under the Finance Committee, and we manage the fund and distribute the money independently of the administration. Bob, what are the eligibility requirements to receive a check?
Okay, the first requirement is that you must be on the payroll as of the last period in November. Once in a while, Ross varies a little of that depending upon the year and where the payrolls fall, but generally that's it. Another requirement is that you must have enough hours worked to earn $25 or more. We won't write a check for less. And speaking of amounts, if you make more than $50,000, you don't share in the fund per se as a distribution, but you do get an honorarium of $100. And to that this year will be added the COVID bump, and not sure how large that's going to be, about $60. So all of the people who make more than $50,000, and that includes everyone, both sides of the greenhouse, and that's $160 that most will get. For the people who worked in the period and left, normally if you leave before the end of November, you don't get a check. For those people who left before that time, they will get a COVID check. Now I've got another question for Jerry. Our monthly fees are significant. I think we answered this question last year, but we still had some questions about it. Our monthly fees are significant, and the question is that we get is, that's a large enough amount so that it should cover anything that we give to the employees. And Jerry, can you say a little more about that?
We do pay a lot of money to live here. Most of it goes to the medical side of the house, but we have a no tipping policy, and this is the way that we contribute to the Employees Appreciation Fund, because we cannot tip the servers and the repair people and the nurses and etc. So if you're so inclined to give some money, the recommended amount is $1.50 per person per day, or about $550, or for a couple that would be $1,100. Why do you not want envelopes used when we put our money in the white box down at the desk?
The box that we use is the white box by the transportation desk. It's got a sloped front and it's marked Employee Appreciation Fund. The reason we don't want envelopes, we like to think of a naked check. And a naked check is just put the check in there, and when there are a number of checks in there, it's easy to get them all out, put them together and take them away. If envelopes are used, sometimes, not sometimes, more than sometimes, they clog the slots at the top, and it just create a kind of a mess. So that's why we do that. Once again, thanks to everyone who's contributed. We have a month and a half to go, and we really should have a big year. So keep the checks coming, and also keep the questions coming. It's important for us to talk about them. We'll be here next week to answer any questions you have during the week. Thanks again for contributing.